My name is Jeremy Walton, and we're going to talk about the best 3-camera setup for 2024. Let's go! Over the years, I've been trying new things out based on new cameras and technology that has come out. 2024 is a new year, and I've made some changes to hopefully create the best trifecta or camera combination to keep the content coming in the new year. This is more of what I do for fun, travel, and for YouTube. When it comes to paid work, I'm bringing everything, and I'm usually shooting with my Komodo and R3. So this is a bit different. So here we go, 3 cameras. The iPhone 13 Pro Max, the Insta360 ACE Pro, and the Canon R3. Whether you're using the cameras I use or something similar, I think you can benefit from a setup like this. We're starting with the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Haven't upgraded, just didn't really need to, I guess, but this is with me everywhere I go. It's my everywhere, anytime, always in my pocket camera. I don't think I need to talk about this a whole lot, but when it comes to posting stories with video or photos, this is what I'm using. That process is super fast and easy with an iPhone. Personal photos, I use my iPhone. Funny videos I take to send to my family, I'm using my iPhone. It's a matter of convenience. The other reason is portability, and an iPhone possesses features no other camera on this table gives me. We're talking about the apps for social media, phone calls, text messaging, maps, and the list goes on and on. If I'm traveling, my iPhone is on me at all times. Well, basically anywhere I go, I have my iPhone on me, but I say traveling because 1, I travel a lot, and 2, when you travel, especially out of the country, you're on the move a lot, and you're not always wanting to bring all your gear. Let's say I'm doing a little sightseeing, then heading out for a nice dinner. In that situation, I might not want to bring my backpack or have to set my R3 on the dinner table. So my iPhone will have to do. For a long time, I was always stressed. I would bring my backpack or a bunch of gear just to end up not using it. I remember walking around Dublin with my R3 at sunset and took a bunch of photos and had a great time. It was all the other times I didn't know exactly what we were doing and brought my backpack, carried around my gear all day, and didn't shoot anything. It was frustrating. I do a lot of work where this is a must, but traveling for fun, shooting YouTube videos, I was constantly in this state of mind. What should I do? What should I bring? For 2024, in those situations, I'm bringing my iPhone and calling it a day. The iPhone 13 Pro Max has ProRes, and I have been shooting with it more often. The new iPhones have logs, so if you're really trying to get some high quality video, it's possible if done right. I've done a bunch of videos comparing different cameras to see if it was possible to tell. I think most people can't. So even though I will always want to shoot with my R3, in the situations I described, I want to enjoy the moment and not worry so much I might not be getting the absolute best image possible. The first camera that I will always have available will be my iPhone. When traveling, it's my life support. I post with it for social media, and now for 2024, I'm going to work it into my videos when I can't have my main camera. The second camera on my list is an action camera, and that's the Insta360 ACE Pro. I just did a review in Hawaii with this camera, so if you want to know more, check that out. But this has found its home in my trifecta setup for a few key reasons. The first thing I want to talk about is there's a difference between filming with a camera and an iPhone. Maybe it's just me, but having a camera and hitting a physical record button just feels different. Maybe because I use the iPhone for so many different things, but with the ACE Pro, it's strictly for filming. There's times when I have my maps on, either walking through a city or while driving. Even if I'm talking on the phone, I want something I can still film with that can also fit in my pocket. I know you've seen those videos of production using an iPhone. I always wonder, whose phone do they use? I'm constantly checking emails, getting text messages. I'm sure you are too. So, whose phone are they using? I know you can buy an extra iPhone, but then you're paying for features you're not using. I say that because I have mentioned it before. Will Apple release a production iPhone where you can get the camera features and nothing else? Just a thought, but it's a reason I want another small portable camera. The other reason is the cost. A new iPhone 15 Pro Max with 1 terabyte of storage is over $1,600. A new ACE Pro is under $500. That's a significant difference. If I want to mount my ACE Pro to my car, hold it out the window, and something happens, I'm only out 500 bucks and I'm out the camera. If the same thing happens to my iPhone, I'm out more money and a lot more info. That might not be a huge deal if I'm in Los Angeles, but if you lose your phone while in Europe, that might be an issue. And it's a big enough issue that I don't want to risk it, especially when traveling. About 2 years ago, I was in Hawaii and borrowed a GoPro. I'm sure we all know someone who has some version, and I did that because I went swimming with some sharks, and it was an incredible experience. I'm so glad I had an action camera. I knew I was going snorkeling on this trip, and you can get accessories for the iPhone, but I used my ACE Pro to film in the ocean. That's what it's designed to do right out of the box. I got great results and didn't have to risk something happening to my phone. Action cameras have come a long way. The ACE Pro is so small that getting B-roll while traveling, boarding a plane is fun, and I'm not concerned having my R3. It can stay tucked away in my backpack. There is something intimidating when people see a camera like this. Holding the ACE Pro, then throwing it in my pocket is no big deal. Also, having someone record me, all I have to say is push record. It's that simple. When people see the R3, they're scared to touch it because they don't want to break it. And I really don't like handing my iPhone over to people to take pics for many reasons I think you can understand. This is why the ACE Pro has made its way into my workflow. If it breaks, that sucks, but it sucks way less than my iPhone. Super simple to use for everyone, a great image for capturing or documenting my travels, even underwater. Now we can move on to my workhorse, the Canon R3. This is what I consider the highest quality but least used when traveling. This is now being used sparingly for good reason, some of which I mentioned. From what I talked about, I don't need everything shot with my R3. I don't know how much footage I have that's sitting on a hard drive that I'll never use because I was using my R3 100% of the time. I still like the quality, but I'm trying to just use it when needed. An hour with the ACE Pro at 4K is roughly 60 gigs, but an hour is 500 with the R3. Yes, hard drive space is cheaper these days, but I can still be efficient in what I do. It's always a little sketch as well, traveling to places that you may not be familiar with and having such an expensive camera. I mean, I can say the same thing about certain places around LA, New York, Boston. There's been times I was a little worried, and that's not a good feeling. I don't want to put myself in that situation anymore. I know we have expensive phones, but almost everybody has one. Not too many people are walking around with $10,000 in their hand. It all falls back to having fun, not being stressed, enjoying the moment while still accomplishing what I want to accomplish. When I was in Yellowstone last year, I was vlogging, reviewing the Tenba Axis V2 backpack, taking photos, and I had my R3 on me 24/7. If I want to set up a time lapse, all I have to be worried about is bears, and it'll be the same setup for this year. The photos I post on Instagram are from my R3. Taking photos with this camera is one of my favorite things to do when traveling. If I'm heading to the Eiffel Tower at sunset, it's coming with me. A castle in Ireland for sure. The Palace of Versailles, 100%. But if I'm doing some sightseeing, heading in town for dinner, going for a drive, then I either have my iPhone or ACE Pro to keep me company. To expand a little on keeping things light, I also got the Tenba Road Warrior backpack. If you're thinking along the same lines as me, then having a smaller backpack as well makes things a bit easier and doesn't stand out as much as the Axis V2. I still use that for work, but the Road Warrior has made traveling a lot easier. I've also been using the 14-inch MacBook Pro. I didn't think I'd ever move away from the 16-inch screen, but since most of my editing is done on a plane, the 14-inch makes my life that much better. There's a lot that has led to me making some of these changes. Maybe you're in the same boat, maybe you can never see yourself slimming down your setup. All of this is a case-by-case situation. It wasn't that long ago I thought I wouldn't be using anything but my R3, and now look at me. I'm trying to keep YouTube and my everyday filming to not necessarily be better, just be different. And this 3-camera setup has got me covered in most situations, keeps things light, fun, so making content is more about filming in the moment, not trying to decide what I need to bring. You never know. A year from now, 2-3 years, it could all change. For now, for 2024, this is what I'm working with, and I'll be letting you know how it's going. Well, there you have it, my 3-camera setup for 2024. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button because there's definitely more on the way. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Leave a comment if you have questions. Until next time, it's a wrap.